A few videos back I created one of our best trading strategies so far with the help of ChatGPT. In the comments, some of you suggested that I should test ChatGPT more thoroughly. So, in this video I will put my trading skills to the test against the power of AI. I will be using ChatGPT to create a trading strategy and compare against my own strategy. But who will create the better strategy? Me or ChatGPT? Let me know what you think in the comment section. To make this challenge as fair as possible, both ChatGPT and I will create a strategy for the same asset and time frame combination. We will use the same stop loss, take profit and trade management methods. The position sizing will be the same, 1% risk per trade, and we will only be allowed to use a few pre-selected filter indicators. To complete this challenge, we will be using TradingView and one of our premium strategy scripts. If you are interested in getting access to this script and many others, consider becoming one of our Patreon supporters. The specialty of this script is that it can use around 30 of the most popular entry signal indicators. These include indicators like MACD, Supertrend, Stochastic RSI, and so on. This means that we can create dozens, if not hundreds, of completely different trading strategies with it. This script includes a large variety of stop loss and trade management methods. It also has a lot of filters like RSI, ADX, trend filters, and so on. But how we will determine who can create a better strategy out of this script? First of all, I will ask ChatGPT to pick an asset and the time frame combination that we will build the strategy for. Then, I will tell ChatGPT what features, options and filters the script has. After that, I will ask it to choose an entry signal indicator and recommend optimal settings for it. Then, I will ask it to choose a stop loss, take profit, trade management method that it thinks should work the best. Finally, I will ask it to pick a few filtering indicators and recommend settings for them that it thinks will help make the strategy perform better. I will test all of its recommendations and apply the best performing ones to the strategy. And what will I do? I will use the same asset and time frame combination, the same entry signal indicator, the same position sizing, stop loss, take profit and trade management methods, and I will be allowed to only use the filters that ChatGPT chose. At the end, we will put my and ChatGPT strategies side by side and check their backtesting performance to see whose strategy performed better. Without further say, let's get started. Okay, first let's see what asset and time frame ChatGPT recommends. I asked it if it could help me build a strategy that trades at least once per day, and it said yes. Then I described my goals for this strategy. I want it to be robust, trade at least once a day, and have at least a 1.5 profit factor. After that, I asked it to choose a market and a time frame considering these factors. It chose the Forex market and the 4-hour time frame. ChatGPT seemed to base its decision on which market is the most liquid and has the lowest spreads. So I decided to go with the most liquid Forex pair which has the lowest spreads, which is the Euro versus US dollar. In the next step, I described to ChatGPT the stop loss and take profit options that the strategy script has, and also what trade management and trading stop losses it can choose from. I didn't force it to use a trading stop loss or a two-step take profit method. Instead, I let it make its choice based on what it thinks would be the best for the strategy. And ChatGPT chose the following trade management setup. First, an ATR-based stop loss with a multiplier of 3, meaning that this strategy will use a 3 times ATR distance stop loss. Then it chose to use a take profit level that is a multiplication of the stop loss distance. It also recommended a percentage-based trading stop loss with a 1 to 2% distance. This trading stop loss will automatically adapt as the price moves in the trade's desired direction and updates itself accordingly. It's worth mentioning that throughout my trading journey, I found that even a simple trading stop loss can improve almost any trading strategy, so I think that's a good pick. ChatGPT also decided to use a partial exiting with a 50% position exit at a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio level. In my opinion, this was also a smart decision, as closing of 50% of the position once the trade is in a profit and reached a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio level will lock in some of the profits on the way up, while still allowing a portion of the position to be closed at a higher profit level. Finally, it mentioned that the strategy could use the squeeze momentum as an exit signal indicator. An exit signal indicator usually closes the trades at a better, higher profit level compared to a simple trading stop loss. As you can see, the trade management method is pretty complex and would be hard to monitor and manage manually. But as we are using one of our TradingView strategy scripts, we don't need to worry about that. The script automatically tracks all the indicators and gives buy, sell and exit signals. It can also backtest or even trade the strategy with real money as a trading bot. I also know that most of you like to see lower time frame strategies, so I asked it if we could use a lower time frame. But it said that despite lower time frames will provide more trading opportunities, we can't ignore the fact that it also comes with more noise and irrelevant price moves. So I'm sorry, but with this strategy we will go with the 4-hour chart. And now let's choose the entry signal indicator. I listed all the possible entry signal indicators and also told ChatGPT that it could choose not just one but multiple entry signal indicators, as this script can also create strategies that have a primary and a secondary or confirmation entry signal indicator. But after some back and forth, it chose to go with a simple Supertrend based entry signal. This choice is interesting as the Supertrend is an ATR based indicator, so it shows that the ATR is considered to be a really good indicator by ChatGPT, as not only the stop loss is ATR based, but the entry signal indicator too. Now I will try out different settings and filters for this strategy that ChatGPT recommends and use the ones that brings the best backtesting performance. I will base my decision mainly on profit factor, as that's one of the best indications on how good the strategy is. I will also take into consideration the total closed trades, the net profit and the max drawdown. I want to see a high profit factor, high number of trades, high net profit and a low max drawdown. Moving on, I asked what multiplier and ATR length the stop loss should use. And it said a multiplier of 3 and ATR length of 14. Next up, I asked if we should limit trading for specific days or sessions, and it said that if the strategy performs significantly better in a specific session or day, then we should limit the trading to that specific sessions or days. I will check this at the last step of the strategy development process. And with that, the basic setup is ready for this strategy. Before moving on to the filters and limiters, let's set up the script according to the choices that ChatGPT made and see how this plain strategy performs. Okay, I plugged in all the basic settings and the strategy has a 1.19 profit factor, a 60% win rate and a 35% net profit. To me, this already looks like a promising setup. To tell the truth, I was pretty surprised that without seeing live market data, ChatGPT was able to put together a basic strategy like this. But now, let's get back to ChatGPT and ask it what filters should we use. I described ChatGPT 16 of our filters and how they work, so it can decide which ones to use. Based on the possible filters, it chose to use 4 out of 16. It chose a trend filter, a normal RSI limiter, a Bollinger Bands limiter and an ADX limiter. As I saw it did not include any volume-based filters, I asked it again if it's sure about that. After that, it chose to include a simple volume plus moving average filter. So we will work with these 5 filters. Next, I asked it what parameter settings it recommends for the entry signal. It listed a few, so I went ahead and tried them all. The best one was the 50-period Supertrend with a multiplier of 2. After that, I asked about what other parameter settings should I try for the position management settings, such as stop loss, take profit, trailing stop loss, etc. It recommended a lot of different settings, so I went ahead and tried them out all, and applied the best performing ones. I won't waste time showing the trial and error process, so let's continue with the filters. First, let's see what it can do with the trend filter. For the trend filter, I listed all the possible moving average types that it can choose from, and it chose EMA and double EMA. I also asked what lengths should I try for the trend filter moving average. It recommended 50 and 100. I tried them out, but none of them made the strategy perform better. So I asked it to recommend more single trend filters with different lengths. Again, I tried them out and the HMA with a 60 length improved the strategy results by a bit. So I applied that to the strategy. This script can also use 2 trend filter moving averages at the same time, so I asked ChatGPT what combinations it would recommend trying out. Just like before, I tried all of its recommendations, but none of those setups worked well. So it's time to move on. The second filter indicator is the normal RSI limiter. For the RSI limiter, I tried out several combinations recommended by ChatGPT, but none of them improved the strategy's performance. And I had the same case with the ADX filter. So I had to let go both the RSI and ADX limiter. Next up, I went over the Bollinger Bands filter. Now, luckily ChatGPT's recommendation for the Bollinger Bands filter with 100 length and the 3 standard deviation was able to improve the strategy, so I applied that to the script. On the other hand, none of ChatGPT's recommendations for the volume plus moving average filter worked well, so we have to let go that filter as well. I also tried limiting ChatGPT strategy to different sessions and days, but found that it was not necessary. And with that, ChatGPT has officially completed creating its own trading strategy. You can find the whole conversation that I had with ChatGPT creating this strategy in a Word document by clicking on the Google Drive link down in the description. Finally, let's see the backtest results of this strategy with a non-compounding and compounding position sizing. If you like this video, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming content. The non-compounding option resulted in 686 trades with 50% net profit, a profit factor of 1.306 and a max drawdown of only 8.72%. These results are not bad, the equity curve also looks decent, but I don't like that long sideways period and the 1.3 profit factor is too low for my preference. So personally, I wouldn't trade this strategy. Let's see the results with the compounding position sizing option. With compounding applied, the profit factor has decreased to 1.283, but the net profit is higher, 61.68%. Okay, we went over the strategy created by ChatGPT. But what about my version? As I mentioned earlier, to make this challenge as fair as possible, for creating my strategy, I used the same asset and timeframe combination, the same 1% risk per trade position sizing, the same trade management setup, and I was allowed to use only the filters that ChatGPT chose. What I can do is changing the parameter settings of the entry signal indicator, the trade management setup, and the filters. As you already know the process of building a strategy and optimizing it, I won't bore you with the details again. To prove I played by the rules, here you can see the settings of my strategy. And now let's jump straight to the results. Here you can see the results of my strategy. The non-compounding version of the strategy had 553 trades, a 1.357 profit factor, a 70% net profit, and 11.61% max drawdown. These results are just slightly better than what ChatGPT could create. Here you can see the results side by side. My strategy has a somewhat better looking equity curve, but it still doesn't come even close to the equity curves I've seen and prefer. And finally, let's take a look on how my strategy performs using compounding position sizing. With compounding applied, the strategy now has a profit factor of 1.368 and 94% net profit. These results are also better than the ChatGPT version. In conclusion, ChatGPT performed surprisingly good in this challenge, considering that it didn't have as much access to live market data and backtesting as me. Just imagine for a second what ChatGPT will be capable of once it gets access to those features. Personally, I can't wait. If you want to get access to this script and all of our other premium scripts, optimizations, and to the Discord server, become one of our Patreon supporters. If you are interested in the previous strategy, which I also created with the help of ChatGPT and is profitable on 45 crypto pairs and 21 forex pairs, check out this video. And with that said, as always, thank you all for watching, have an amazing day, and see you in the next video.